Hello everybody. I wanted to give a little short video that kind of talks about creativity. A few people have emailed me and sent me private messages and just kind of said thank you for sharing your creativity. And what makes me sad is sometimes people will say, I wish I had creativity, or I have so much stuff and I don't know what to do with my stuff. And my heart goes out to them because I know that it can be frustrating to sit at a table or to be ready to craft and nothing comes to your head, or you just feel like you don't have creativity. I do want to say that I believe that all of us are creative, and have inside of us creativity that's inherited from our creator. But whether or not we nurture that can depend on our culture, can depend on our family, can depend on our environment where we live, our school where we were educated. A whole lot of different things can damper or repress our creative talent. But it doesn't mean that you can't find it. I found my creative talent in my late 30s, which is unusual. I mean, most people know they have creative instinct, very young, and I didn't find out till I was in my late 30s, which is pretty amazing. But it had to do with, just the way I was living my life, and it wasn't conducive to discovering creativity. Well, I want to give you a few tips that have helped me along the way, and hopefully my tips can be what you think about the next time you're in your craft room and you're not sure what to do. So I have 5 tips written down, and the pictures that you see are just pictures of different things in my past year of creativity that I'm just sharing with you. Maybe they also can be inspiring in some way. I also have a Pinterest board called Inspiration, which is a board under the alias of Girl Geek 101 on Pinterest. And that inspiration board has the whole purpose of inspiring someone to create. So, tip number 1, if you like to copy, go ahead and copy. So I'm going to say something about copying though. So in this regard, number 1 is talking about casing, where you go and you look up cards that were made by for a stamp set. Maybe you look on Pinterest, maybe you look on Split Coast, maybe you just Google the stamp set that you own, and you'll get like thousands of cards that will come up. And you might find it easiest just to copy those. And that's fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I actually do it myself when I'm in a slump or when I just want to not think. Like there are days when I don't want to create. I know it's funny to hear, but there are days when I just want to play with paper. And so what I will do is I will, Google or Pinterest or whatever, find something I like, and then see if I can reproduce it. I will give you some tips on this one though. Try to change at least one thing. Change something. Change the color palette. Change the stamp used. Change the designer series paper. Change something. What that will do is, 1, make it yours, all yours, and 2, it also gives you an opportunity to think out of the box, to think, okay, well, this can be a sketch. It doesn't have to be a case. I can use it as a sketch, and then my own creativity can be included if I try to change something. The better you get at discovering your creativity that's inside of you, the easier it will get for you to change something. And you'll find that one day you'll almost change everything. And if 2 people were to look at the original and what you ended up with, they would not recognize that they are related. Because you have gotten to that place where you can use something as a starting point and then completely revise it to reflect your own personality. Number 2, get inspiration from other than cards. This is a big one. It has to do with like my Pinterest board on inspiration. It means looking at the world a little bit differently, looking for patterns of color that you like, or textures that you like, or thinking about the message behind what you're doing. What is the message? What is the theme of this thing that I'm doing? One of the things I love to do is use gift giving as a pivoting point. I actually create best when I'm giving gifts. It's amazing. And the reason is because I've got that person, the recipient in my mind. I've got the person in my mind that I'm going to give the gift to. And I'm actually forming my design based on what I know about them. It takes you to a different place where there's something in you, that creative element in you, starts to come out. And, being a Christian, I believe it has to do with the scripture that says there's more happiness in giving than in receiving. Not only happiness comes from giving, but a large portion of creativity and inspiration can come from giving to someone else. So do a little test one day. Sit down to make a card for somebody. Pick somebody who's pretty much very unique, somebody that has a theme in their lifestyle or in their attitude, something that makes you think out of the box. Make something for them, and then make that same thing for yourself. Notice the difference. It's really interesting. I know in my case, what I make for others always turns out 100 times better than what I made for myself. I really wish I could change that, but it's fact. Third thing I want to suggest is get involved in a community of people who create like you do. So if you like creating cards, get involved with a card making community like Split Coast Stampers or something. If you like scrapbooking, get involved with scrapbooking communities. If you're African American, I think you would love the community called Scraps of Color, which is an African American scrapbooking community online that joins African American scrapbookers from all over the United States. So check that out. That's pretty cool. If you are into photography, Big Picture Classes, which is an online class, is a great one to get to meet some of the best photographers that exist, because they are photographers that actually tell stories with the pictures, like I can't get names in my head right now, but go to bigpictureclasses.com and check out some of the people there that are doing photography in a very unique way. If you love mini albums, take a minute to step away from the design of the album in order to step into the photography. So kind of like, what is the theme of the photos I want to present? Is it a day at the museum with my kids? Is it a Christmas holiday under the tree? Is it visit to Santa? Is it perhaps it's as simple as my favorite pieces of furniture in my house? I mean, you don't even need a person to get involved in photography. You can pick themes that are just object based. Favorite trees, favorite furniture. I did a book recently. You can check on video recently released with a book that celebrated the views from different places I live. So the view from the window. I always take the pictures because the view is a really important thing to me. So I made a little book about that. I made a little book about my weight loss, So getting to a place where you can theme your crafts might make it a little bit easier. And, many of us are used to the birthday themes and the holiday themes, but go beyond those themes to something a little bit more personal that you feel comfortable if somebody found it would be okay. But move to a more thematic approach. Conceptual design is usually a bit easier. Finally, I want to suggest that you let go of perfection. And this is pretty much a big one. It is really hard to discover your creativity if all along the way you're expecting perfection from yourself. That's actually counterproductive. You need to be able to throw things away. You make up a card and it doesn't look good to you, throw it out if you want to. It's not going to be ungreen of you to throw it out. If you want to repurpose that paper, then go online and learn how to create paper from old paper. But don't be in a place where you can't throw things out. You should be able to throw out, and you should be able to make mistakes, and you should be able to rip it up and start over. And that should be okay. In the beginning, you'll find that you'll only love, I should say, about 25% of what you create in the beginning. But as time goes on, that 25% will move up to 50 and then 75 and, higher as you get used to being creative. Personally, about 90% of what I create I keep, 10% I throw away, and that's after years of practice. So, my last message to you is go sit down somewhere that's not too hot or turn on a fan and play. Pull out your favorite colors, your favorite papers, your favorite inks. Throw them together on something, a book, a card, a photo album page, and just play. I'm sure you'll have fun, and I'm sure you'll discover the creativity that's hiding inside of you too. If you ever need some tips and you just need some encouragement, let me know. I can probably send you something that'll get you started. Check out my Pinterest board if you get a chance, because it is full of over 250 images of inspiration. It's by Girl Geek 101 on Pinterest, and the name of the board is simply Inspiration. I wish you the best inspiring day. I want you to be happy stamping, snapping, or just plain old cutting and pasting. Discover inside of you the most beautiful thing the Creator gave you, creativity, and have a great day.